Howdy folks, welcome back to Infinite Rails. I wanted to make a third and final video here on this little series, and we're going to do some passenger operations. That's the one thing that you can do that we haven't done just yet. But yeah, this game's got potential, but it has some pretty major problems. You can see I've built a second logging camp. That's because this camp quit working. I don't know if that's a bug or a feature, but it did quit working. Also, I can't remember, were there more trees up here? So it could be that you put down a logging camp and then it just clears the trees. I really wasn't paying that much attention. So again, I'm not sure if that's a bug or a feature, but to get logs, I had to put down a second logging camp, and then that one worked fine. But anywho, I'm going to take this down, and then we'll get some track built for passengers. And we'll see how that works. I do have a car, I believe. Let me just go double check. Yeah, it does give you one passenger coach. So we have that available. But with the beams losing money, it's just a real grind to make anything. I mean, you do make money because the logs sell for more at the sawmill. But you make money and then you have to clear out the beams, go sell them, and then you lose that money. So it's like make some, lose a little, make some, lose a little. It's a thing. But anywho, I'm going to take this down. We'll get it unloaded at the sawmill, and then we'll do some track building. I'll see you in a bit. Oh, and I should mention, the delete tool does work now to remove stumps. I don't know why it wouldn't before. It does work. So I've removed most of the stumps that were floating in the air. You know, I just noticed, I was looking at the map to make sure the switches were lined up. If you hover over something, it will pop up the buy and sell price. Look at that. So right now the beams you can buy for $297, and you can sell them for $253. It's hard to make money like that. I need to get some brakes on. It did say state working, so does this say state not working? Stopped. Stopped. They're both stopped. So maybe that's a feature. If that is a feature, they run out of logs way too quick. Also, I had a comment that said you can derail, so I might have to try that at some point. Alright, ease off the brakes. I did take a load of beams over. It looks like we got some more beams ready to go. But I'm just going to drop off these cars, and then we're going to build a passenger line. And from what I understand, right now you basically have to spawn in passengers and then take them. There's not much else to it at the moment. But like I've said, this game has a lot of potential. It just needs some more time in the oven, I think. And also, for whatever reason, the frame rate just tanks now over here at the sawmill. Like, we're just, yeah, it's awful. I don't know why. That just started one time when I loaded my save. I don't know. There's something bugged out over here, maybe. I don't know what's going on. I thought I had an unload spot ready. Yeah, it's just chugging. I don't know how well that'll come through in the video, but it's barely working. There we go. You can unload one there. And I should be able to load the beams. Have to buy them and then load them. And then we go lose money. It's great. Great game loop. I did join the Discord to report some bugs and stuff. And I did see in there that they're aware that the beam price is off and they're working on it ASAP. That's what the word is from the... I think there's 2 developers. So... props to a small team for making a game. Making any kind of game is no small feat. And yeah, this has potential. It's got bugs, of course, but it's early access. So I'm going to leave these cars here, and then we're going to get out of Lagville. So do I have... I don't have handbrakes on each side, so I need to get to the other side. Oh, this frame rate. I wonder... I've wondered if I would delete the sawmill, if it would bring my frames back. I didn't necessarily want to do that. Alright, so we will do that. Disconnect you. Disconnect you. Then we will lag our way out of here. Am I a little too... I'm a little too far, aren't I? Well, let's see what happens. What happens if I switch that? It doesn't let you switch. Alright, fair enough. Put this in reverse. Release the brakes. Put the hammer down. Can I push this? I don't think I can push it since the handbrake's on. I'm fine with that. It makes sense. So let me lag my way out of here. And I will push this back just a hair, and then hopefully it shouldn't run away because it has an uphill on the other side. Those cars still have a brake application on, so I think that's messing me up. Alright. Well, we're learning things about the game. Okay, we'll hook you in. Get rid of your brakes. Look forward to getting my frame rate back. This is coming up to around 5 as release, so it should release. There we go. And we just need to back up a bit. That's fine. Throw the old handbrake on. Set the handbrake on the car just in case. Probably wouldn't want to roll anywhere, but you never know. Alright, now we can throw the switch. Like so. We can put her back in drive. Take off the handbrake. There's a sander now, I forgot to mention that. Saw that in the patch notes. Alright, this frame rate is painful. Let me get away from the sawmill and I'll be back. Alright, it's definitely the sawmill area that's the problem because my frame rate's back. So we got away from the sawmill a little ways. It's all good now. So what I want to do is I want to make a kind of adjoining line that has passengers on it. Got a little too much speed up. So let's come up here. Oops, put that in emergency, I think. And we'll just go ahead and stop the engine. Let's go into fly mode. So what I thought about is having like a crossing here, because I haven't used any of the crossings. So let's play around with that a bit. We'll go to, and we'll just knock that out. And then if we go back to railroading, we have a 45 cross. I can't remember. Oh yeah, rotate those arrow keys. I knew there was a rotate. I just couldn't remember what it was. So I don't necessarily want that there. Right by the switch. So let's do this. Let's come over and let's make a straight. We're in straight, horizontal ends, and leveled. So we'll come out just a bit. Like that. I want to throw the 45 cross on there. And then we probably want to get rid of, let's get rid of that. And then we'll link this up. It almost comes through to where I want it, but not quite. So we'll get rid of that. We'll come over to say there, just kind of eyeballing that, and then we'll, oops, link back up like that. There we go. That's not too bad. And then I'll kind of leave that there. Got a nice little shelf. So then for passengers, I kind of want a way to, actually, yeah, I kind of wanted a way to get on that line from here. So I'm just going to completely redo this. All right, that is this a short or is that a regular? I think that's a regular switch. So I want a left lever, put that on there. And yeah, that looks like that's a regular switch, so that's fine. And then we'll do this. You back into you. Oops. I do that a lot. You have to like pause just a bit or it won't link up. So you got to click and then just pause just a microsecond. If you go too fast, it won't actually connect. So that would get us on to that. And then, yeah, I forgot we're going to need our crossing here somewhere. We do a 90 degree. Let's go up. And then we do minimum curvature reached. Thinking maybe about in there somewhere. There's a method to my madness. We would need a right. So that may end up being a 90 degree. Can we make it into a 45? Let's try that. All right, so I want to go back to straight mode. And if I came out to like here, this is going to take some spitballing. And then did like that. We're back to our curve mode. Yeah, I think we want to redo that a bit. It's going to be kind of nasty. Let's do like that. And hook in. And that's not, oh, I did it again. You got to be careful. Make sure you're linked up. Then snap her in. There we go. All right, then we come here to there. Then our passenger line just goes off somewhere. But we need to set it so it's following the terrain. So we want to do height adjusted. There we go. And then by terrain for the ends, I think. Also, I want to see where I'm going. And this is just an arbitrary line. I don't really necessarily care where it's going. But it would kind of make sense that the further you go, the more money you make with passengers. So I'm going to operate under that assumption. So we're going to have a little line that just kind of wanders its way around. And we'll have a passenger station at each end. That's kind of the idea I'm going with. Let that draw in. So we'll just kind of skirt around the lake. Going up to say here. I have no idea what the gradient is like on this line. We'll find out. But then it has this walls thing. So I kind of wanted to do some of that maybe around the lake. Just for a little bit of a different fill. And then what if I did elevation level? Yeah, so that just makes it a kind of a different wall. That's going to be really tall though. So I don't necessarily want that. So let's go back to that and that. That'll just kind of hug the terrain. But let's just do some stone ballast along the lake just for something different. Try out the different options. Ooh, that's ugly. That is ugly. I don't like that. Let's get rid of that, and let's see if we can recarve that. There we go. Recarve actually worked decently. Let's try that again with the stones. We'll go a little further away from the lake. By terrain and adjusted. There we go. That's what we want. Come over here. Be nice if there was an undo button. Yeah, I did it again. You got to be not too quick. And again, this is just an arbitrary line. I have no idea where I'm going. Ooh, nope, nope, nope. We don't want to do that. All right, I'm going to put in a... I don't know if it's a bug report or a feature request, but it'd be nice if it didn't do that. Nope, that's not the button I want. So let's get rid of you. It kind of recarves in little blocks, so just go along and fix it back up. And then it looks like we need to probably go out of way a little bit, or maybe just move the elevation up a bit. So you can do height adjusted. So let's bring it up. Have a nice. This says 2.4. Oh, so, all right. So if you're in this mode, it's going to keep the steady gradient, I guess. I'm confused. The elevation in this mode doesn't seem to make much sense. Second, that doesn't give us water. Okay, that's good. All right, let's switch back to our regular rail. And we're going to come right over here and have a little station. So we'll do that. Oops. Click and then move. And then we're going to do elevation horizontal ends. No, that's fine to leave that one. Let's go back to leveled. And let's just level this out. We'll do like that. And then I'm going to do elevation horizontal ends. And let's just get a nice horizontal line right here. And then we need some way to turn around. We're getting into the desert, interestingly enough. Come out a little further. And then let's put down the turntable. I haven't tried that. We need like some passing tracks and stuff though to get to run around the terrain. So we'll spend a little bit of time doing some track work here. So let's take that out. Let's do a left. We're going to do the small one though. It's just a run around track. We'll do left, and then back to rails. That is leveled. Right? It says horizontal ends, height leveled. I don't know why it says it's minus 2%. I thought it would go back to being leveled. Maybe I'm misunderstanding something. It says leveled. So if I lower that down, like it switches from -2 to 2. I don't know that those numbers are accurate. So we're going to go with no adjustment, I guess. Let's just drop down here. I mean, it looks level-ish. So I'm not sure. I guess we need to get rid of this one. Back into fly mode. Try to figure this out. Have that, and then that should in theory be level. And now it says elevation 0. Okay. I guess we're leveled out. We'll say come back to about there, and then we need a small right. And flip that around like that. I want that to just be a passing track. Can't really do, because I didn't do that necessarily right. That's fine. What we can do now that we have our switches laid is we can delete that, come back here into our rail tool. Just come out. Oh, what would be enough? 30 feet-ish? 30 feet-ish. Then we do a straight between those two. Then we can use our parallel tool. Out a ways. What does that need to be, like 12 feet-ish? What kind of snaps at 13.5? Does that mean that's a like a recommended distance? Interesting. But that's going to be too tight. It's going to look dumb. Oops. Fail. Make sure it's snapped on, and then we'll do not straight mode. Yeah, that's going to be too ridiculous. There's probably some numbers I need to work out to do this the correct way. Somebody may have already worked that out. All right, let's go back to straight mode. Let's do like 40 feet. I think that will be closer to what I'm looking for. 40 feet. 40 feet. There we go. Then we can go between these. Then we can do parallel. We're figuring it out live here. And it seems to kind of snap at some point. So I guess we'll pretend like that's where it's supposed to be. We'll get our rail tool. We'll come off of straight. Then hook that in. Yeah, it's about 40 feet for the small switches. Seems about right. And then we'll come out a little ways on the straight. And then let's put down a turntable and we'll see how that works. Can I snap that on? Looks like this may not snap. Interesting. Okay, well, I guess we're going to put the turntable over here and then we'll hook up to it. We'll try that. It does have a nice pit there, so that's cool. So we'll get rid of that line and then we'll just hook up. That's pretty close to straight. And we'll have a little runoff track just in case. We'll put a bumper on that. There we go. And we can run around our passenger train and turn the engine around. So, passenger station. We have a station M1 and a station L1. I don't believe either one of these costs money. Sure. Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna work. We have buildings. Do we have a passenger? Yeah, here we are. Platform. Concrete platform with a thing on it. I may need to put this down and then snap. snap to it. It kind of seemed like it snapped to the track. Interesting. All right, let me play around with that a little bit and get the station thing figured out, and I'll be back. We'll have one end of the passengers run done. All right, I got a station that I'm pretty happy with, and I went and got the engine, was bringing it over. Then I noticed the perils of building from overhead. Look at the slope on this bad boy. So it pops up, and then, we're going to fix that. But I wanted to see, let's see, let's go back to here. I wanted to see, like, I'm on a pretty aggressive slope. If I just take the handbrake off, it does roll. All right, cool. I thought this game had fairly decent physics, so that's nice to see. So I'm going to hook up to the car. The engine's already facing the right way, so we don't need to turn it at this end. But we'll check out the turntable at the opposite end. We've got the beautiful Station A here. And we're going to go build Station B. Let's get hooked up. Oh, kidding me. There we go. Alright, we'll go ahead and throw the handbrake on. Let's get the hoses hooked up, and then we'll get these passengers on board. And I'll show you at the other end. You basically just place these like scenery. There's you go to buildings. Down at the bottom, there's passengers. And then there's specific spots on the platform where you can spawn them. So I just spanned them down. Let's get the train hooked up, and we'll take a little closer look at the station that I built. Why can't I grab that? There it is. Alright, now if I put this down... I don't have a foot plate, but I think, yeah, I can just walk across. Cool. I want to take this handbrake off that I set. There we go. Get this all set back for passenger operation. Then there's a button in the cab here to open and close the passenger doors, and I believe when I open the passenger doors, they'll get in. Let's test that theory. Yep, they all just teleport into the car. Or most of them do anyway. Why aren't you guys getting on board? What's your problem? Are you too good to get on the train? There's seats available, right? Yeah, there's plenty of seats in here. Unless some spots... Oh, they're not sitting across from each other. I guess their legs would clip in. So is that a thing? Oh, I guess that's a thing. They can't use some of the seats. Alright. Welcome to Early Access. I'm your guide, Kerbo. So I guess that's a thing. But anyway, here's the station I built. So I ended up putting down these... I had the platform with the stripe, and it's got like the little lip here that's, you know, meant to go next to the track. And that seemed to snap into place. I don't know if it was my imagination, but it did seem to snap to the track. Kind of. And then I used just the plain concrete blocks to build out the rest of this platform. And then I placed the station, and I raised it up just a hair. So it has its own floor. Also, the grass was poking through here, so that's why I decided to put down the concrete blocks. I've got some steps back here, and then I put fences around the outside. Nothing too amazing. I'm not the most creative person in the world, but you can do a little bit of world building. I'm sure people have created far more awesome things than I have. What's up with this roller coaster track? I'm doing something wrong, apparently. Let's go fix that. Let's hop into fly mode here. Let's get this taken care of. So if we come here and we say destroy. See if we can get this leveled out a little bit. Rid that. I thought these were level, but maybe they aren't. It looks level, but it's hard to tell what's level. I kind of wish when you were in the terrain, or if you hovered over the track, you could see what it was. I haven't found any way to do that. Let's try rebuilding this. So if we come out to... Was it, how far was it? Horizontal ends, height leveled. I think we were coming out 40 feet, wasn't it? So if we come out 40 feet, go to straight. So that should be leveled. Oops, I accidentally clicked. Look onto that. Go back to curve mode. Yeah, that should be somewhat level, and then we'll just hook in this guy. Here we go. And then if I come back to my position... Oh, hey, cow. How's it going? Looks like they just adjust to the normal of the terrain. I need to put a switch in here, obviously, but... Yeah, there we go. That's a lot better. And then I'll need to fix the other end as well. Let's go back into fly mode. If I bring that out, we should have that, and then I need to remove that. And we'll put a switch in here. And we were using the... I need a left small. Like that. Hook you back in, and then we can hook you back in. Weird, it didn't want to hook in very much. Yeah, something like that. It's a little better. And then I don't know what happened down here, but we need to do kind of the same thing here and make this more better. It looks like the line coming off here was not level. Oh, because it goes up to the turntable. That's why. Well, let's see if we can make that a little less hideous. I assume that just deletes as its own thing. There's the switch, and then we can do the recarve. Sometimes it destroys track and ballast, sometimes it doesn't. We have this little thing over here. Sometimes the recarve tool just doesn't want to recarve. I guess that's a bug. And let's try this. Let's come out with the rail tool, and then we want to be on straight mode, horizontal ends leveled. Yes, indeed. And let's come out to like here. And then that gives us, in theory, yeah, so that's level. That just kind of flattens out the ground to give me a reference point. And then if we bring in our turntable, rotate that around, we can just kind of eyeball that like it's in the middle-ish. If we put that down, and then we hook in the rail, then that should be a lot better. Come off of here, back to straight mode, like so. Throw a bumper on there. This is kind of an overrun track. It's really all we're doing with this is turning the engine around. There we go. If we hop back to my view, you want to go back to where your person is, it's Alt X. So X makes you fly mode. And then if you just hit X again, it drops you to the ground where you're at. Unless you're in the locomotive, and then it takes you back to the locomotive. But if you're in fly mode and you want to go back to where your character is, it's left Alt X. Boink, and then you're back where your character is. And there you go. All right, that's fixed up. Let's take our passengers. And we'll see about building another station. Actually, I want to count these guys too. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yeah, 6 and 6. That's a shame that they can't utilize the seats better, but all right. Now we know. 12 passenger. So if I hit the closed door, that does not close the little gate thingies. All right. I don't think the little gate thingies matter for the passengers. They seem to just teleport into the car. All right, let's head on down the line. And we have passengers now, so we should probably start out kind of gentle. Rather than just balls to the wall like I usually do. Then I'll need to stop a little bit on down the line. I went ahead and extended this a bit. But we don't have another station down here, so we need to build another station down here somewhere. I thought about bringing these together possibly and then having a station. Be another connection point. But there's some real hills on this line, so it'll be interesting to see if I can make it back. There's quite a hill over here. Let's pop outside. And the locomotive shifts gears. I don't know what gear it has. But you'll see it like throttle down as it shifts gears. We're in full regulator. Can we make it? Uh-oh. This is one of those steep hills. I wasn't really paying attention to the grade. I was just laying track. And it's quite the ride. You can see the giant hill we're on. Oh well. Just for fun. I'm excited to see where this game goes, though. With some more time in the oven, I think we're going to have a real winner on our hands. It gives you a lot of creative freedom. The basics are there. The track laying, seems to work pretty well. The physics and, the train handling seems okay so far. Just need to get some more features and some of these bugs squished. I've been having a lot of fun with it. So that's my plan. I'm going to finish out the 3-video series with this passenger video. And then I'll be keeping an eye on the development. We'll see how it goes. We'll check in again at some point in the future. There's a huge hill right here, too. You can see our sawmill off in the distance. There are signals and signal detectors, but I haven't played around with those yet. I think they're kind of buggy, just from what I've seen on the Steam discussion. Oh yeah, I was going to try to derail. I forgot about that. Let's see how it goes. I think I'm going to just shut down the regulator. Because we do need to stop over here. We've got a little ways to go, but it's kind of the end of the line. I might eventually bring those together. I think I'll just build a station over here. We'll call out a video. We're getting on to long enough. Hey, Mr. Elephant, how's it going? Let me spawn you in some grass to eat. There you go. If I remember right, I've got the graphics turned up pretty much all the way. Where's this end? It ends kind of over here past that. Ease up on it. Hey, water buffalo. That looks like a water buffalo anyway. How's it going? I think if I make another world, I'll turn the animals off. It looks kind of silly to see elephants and water buffalo in the forest. Oh, turn you down. Alright, folks. We're going to come to a stop here, and as soon as I build a station, we'll let you out of the train. Thank you for your cooperation. And I'll go ahead and throw the locomotive handbrake on just in case. Alright, let's go build a station. It'll be fun. So if we come over here and we're in build mode, we have straight, and so this should be straight and level. So let's do straight and level. Out that far. Let's do straight and level out to, say, there. We're going to do kind of the same thing where we put in a turntable. Now get our straightness, and then let's put in a, oops, I clicked too many times. Straight with a right, like that, and then we need a little bit of a straight on here. Put a turntable in. Something like that. Is that showing water? Is that, oh, is that showing? Yeah, looks like that might be showing the water. Oh well. Just to really access things, it reaches down to the water table. It's a thing. All right, let's go back to straight mode. Again, this is just kind of an overrun. Right into a bumper, and we'll test that out. Now I need to come back over here and say we'll take you out. We're going to have the station over here. Then we need a left small, like that. Then we're going to come over here to our rail tool, and we want to go, and we're in straight mode, so we're going to go out 40 feet on each end. Forty-ish feet. Goes up, we'll go to our parallel tool. Something like that. Ooh. Do we end up doing 50 feet? Because that's not working. It ended up doing 50 feet. Straight mode. Let's try 50 feet. 50-ish feet. There we go. Oop. A little symbol. That in. Beautiful. Now, can I do a level station? I don't know for sure how this is going to work, but let's go to buildings and concrete platform. If I rotate this around, we can also do R to rotate by 90 degrees. Covered that. And then if you look close, it's kind of hard to tell, probably just by watching. But when you're laying this in, it kind of goes, where kind of felt like it snapped. Yeah, right there. It felt like it snapped on. So let's try that. Let's pretend like that snapped on and life is good. That stay pretty consistent with the track. It seems to be. Come down about, say, that far. And then I just built out a platform with these guys. And they do snap together quite well. You just got to get on a face. So the building system works pretty well. So there we have that. And then if we come in here to our station buildings, let's do the, oh, that's a big one. We need a lot bigger platform. Okay, I was going to do the other station just for something different. So let's do that. But we need a much bigger platform. I've forgotten to right-clicked. That. Come down about here, maybe? And I'll just build this one out right on the video for those that want to see it. Kind of got it figured out off camera. Now we'll build one for real. All right, let's see if that's big enough. So we go to station L1. Yeah, that's a big old station. And then it doesn't really want to line up, so I just kind of eyeball it. And then let's come back to say here, we're going to need to put some more blocks on the back. Then when you place it, it lets you name it. So we're going to go with station B, because I'm super creative like that. We're going to come back down to our concrete platform. Like that, and then we can get some, we got some stairs corner. That's kind of cool. Let's maybe do that off this corner just for fun. Yeah, the grass bleeds through, doesn't it? That kind of thing bothers me, but we're going to ignore it. Oh, that doesn't work with the stairs? Okay. Interesting choice. Yeah, it doesn't line up with the stairs. Okay. Yeah, doesn't line up at all with the stairs. Okay, well, there's another bug report. Screen chat. So anyway, I don't need to spend a ton of time decorating this, but I'll show you some of the things I did. So we have this little wood fence that will snap right to the sides of the platform, just like it was designed that way. So I'm going to put those on the sides. Keep forgetting and right clicking. And then we just rotate that around. And then I used these guys. I don't think this stuff costs any money. So we can decorate to our heart's content. And then in theory, we can pull the train up here and let the passengers off. That's my theory. We also have a wood platform, wooden stairs. Could have done that, I guess. But let's get some... We'll go with like the modern benches for this one. I feel like that's not quite lined up. We're going to call it close enough. There we go. We got some benches for him to sit on. You get the idea. All right, let's bring the passengers in. And let's turn the loco around. All right, let's go back to our position. We could probably just coast in. Got the air pressure. No, we need to release the brakes. All right, let's get her fired up. There we go. Doesn't have a enough air to release the brakes. So we'll pull up to the platform, and then I think we just have to open the doors and they get out. We have 2222. That's easy to remember. Let's see if we can make some money. Oh, we're gonna hit that fence? We might be a little close on the platform. Yeah, we're a little close. So maybe it doesn't snap. Maybe it was just my imagination. But nothing exploded. So let's open the doors. Ta-da! There we go. We made money. And I assume all of the passengers got out. So take a quick little look. Oh, they didn't even leave any trash behind. What good people. Now, it'd be funny. I could close the doors and open them and they would get back on. Oh, that's hilarious. I like it. Alright, let's turn on the turntable and we'll see how that works. So I want to come over here. I need to put the handbrake on. We need to do that. Raise that. Drop the hoses. Disconnect that. I forget to turn my lights on. I did. Okay, we'll drive onto the turntable and see what happens. There's a little control booth on there. I assume that's how we operate the turntable. Oh, and I was going to refuel too. I don't think I've shown that on camera. We'll throw a fuel station down. Be safe, put it neutral. Set and centered. Okay, how's this work? Target rotation. One click equals 15 degrees. What's that mean? Oh, you can turn the rails off. Oh, cool. That's neat. One click equals 15 degrees. Oh, look at that. We got like voltage and amps and all kinds of stuff going on. Target rotation. Can I change that? No, that's just showing you. Okay. So we need our target to be 100 and, oops. I think since I already turned 15, it needs to be 165. You turn me right round. Target, active rail, inactive rail. Oh, that's our target. Oh no, our target does need to be that one, I think. That's pretty cool. Yeah, we just need to turn 180 degrees and we're golden. So in theory, that's going to line up and life will be good. Got a little flashy red light there because we're underway. That should, in theory, lock in. We can drive right up here. Look at that. It even slows down and ka-chink. The light turns off and we're good to go. Alright, you can click this little thingy and it'll zoom in where you're at. So I want to run around my trains. We're going to throw those switches. And yeah, we can get on out of here. Very nice. Let's give her a little juice. Drop the handbrake. Yeah, the turntable works well. And that's not water, it's just a darker color for some reason. Oh no, it's water over the top of it, I see now. It is water. It's okay. We have a little bit of a leak in that turntable. Just the way it is. So it looks like you can just run these people back and forth and make money. Again, early access. Not everything is going to be polished or even work. And I like the building. You can make some really interesting things. Go on the Discord, people are like showing off their builds. They're way better than anything I can build. I'm a decent like functional builder. But cool aesthetics and stuff is not really my forte. Oh, I moved that the wrong direction. This one is backwards from all the others. It confuses me. I haven't derailed yet, but that's okay. We'll save that for another day. I don't know that you can derail. It seems to take quite a bit of effort, because I've come roaring down off that mountain with a full load of logs and never really seemed to have any problems. But I have heard that you can derail. There we go. All right, set and centered. Let's get this thing hooked up. Like so. Passengers are loaded. Oh, I forgot to turn the marker on back here. You turn the brake off. And then I think the switch over here, does this turn on the lights? Rear lights. There we go. I didn't have my markers on when we were running before. There we go. We're marking the end of the train. And then we made, what, 800 bucks? You're not going to get rich running passengers, but it's something to do in the game. I'm sure it'll get more fleshed out in the future. Also, I reported the bug that the weight's spelled wrong. It looks like it's spelled wrong everywhere in the game. Whoops. Oh yeah, they're aware of that. That critical bug. I put in the thing. I'm like, this is a minor cosmetic bug, but you know, we'll go ahead and report it anyway. All right. All aboard. Get on out of here. I want to thank you for watching this little 3-part series. Like I said, I will be keeping an eye on this game as it develops. And we'll see where it goes. I took that brake off, right? I clearly did something wrong. I thought I took the handbrake off. And the hoses are hooked up. The handbrake is off. Why are we not moving? Am I stuck on the station? I'm pretty close to the platform. Yeah, that's hooked up. Was I not pumped up? Oh, I have no brake pressure. What's the deal here? Oh, is the... Oh, right. I forgot. I never closed this when we unhooked. There you go. So it's got decent air brake simulation as well. Tried to leave. What a goober. There we are. Let's try that again. Drive. 2 blasts on the horn and we're out of here. I think. Quite possibly we're out of here. Hang on, folks. We're going for a ride. Thanks as always for watching, folks. I'll catch you in the next adventure. Take care.